hear me. So I'm just going to get started, okay? I started my group's Airbnb with themes because I've been in this business since 2015, and I see a major movement that's happening out here in the world of short-term rental. And part of that movement is that mm, short-term rentals are becoming the destination. So before, you used to be able to just use your Airbnb to, basically to travel, and you would go see whatever you're seeing in that area. But that's changing now. What's changing about that is that people are now moving out away from the metro areas. They're moving, around the state park areas and out into the camping grounds and things like that because they're looking for an experience. And I believe what propagated this was COVID, so with COVID, with all the restrictions and all of the mask wearing and, the rules against congregating has pushed people out away from the metro areas. And so what we start to see out here is that people are turning unusual things into, places to stay. So you'll see caves that are being turned into places to stay. You'll see, I saw a potato that was carved out in Idaho. That's a place to stay. And of course, we have our now more traditional tiny homes, glamping tents, and things like that. So again, what you see now is people moving away from the metro areas and turning unusual places into sleeping abodes or places that you would go to see, not necessarily the metro area or that you're visiting. So I started the group there for that reason. A little bit about me. My name is Tamara Jones, or you can call me TJ for short. A lot of people call me TJ. And I work on behalf of a lot of real estate investors. So I do have my own vacation rentals. I have one in New Orleans. I have one in Tybee Island. I have one here in Atlanta. And I have co-hosted a lot of different ones and also set up different Airbnbs, or we like to call them, they're actually short-term rentals. Airbnb is just a platform that we advertise on, okay? So that's me. If you need help getting into this business, not only do I run the groups that show you all the unique ways you could use an Airbnb or you could travel to an Airbnb, I actually help people get into one. If you want to get into the business or you want to find your property or something like that, I help you get into those. I help you with permitting. I help you with setting and staging if you need that guidance, and any kind of legal documents that you might need. I'm not an attorney, but I do have a legal background as a paralegal and an assistant. So I did want to put that out. And now what I want to go into is what's coming up, what's coming up for us, as a group, what's coming up for the world of short-term rentals and Airbnbs, and what's coming up as far as projects. So let's just start at, I would like to see in our group, more, posting of anything you're interested in. You don't have to have an Airbnb or you don't have to have a short-term rental. You could just post, what are you interested in seeing that's not traditional? It's not a traditional room. You really would like to stay here or you really would like to stay there. As you can see, I posted a Airbnb that was literally hanging on the side of a rock in Peru. So if you're interested in those type of things, go ahead and post that because that is the wave of where we're going in the vacation rental business. Another thing that's coming up for vacation rentals is that because of COVID, a lot of people are now working remotely, and that has not changed. So during COVID, we had a lot of workers start to work virtually, and their businesses have opened back up, but they have not returned to working back in brick and mortars. They're still working virtually. Now, what that means is that there's a lot more demand for people that live off of platforms like Airbnb. So what that means for hosts like me is that we now set up desk areas. We have ring lights in our Airbnbs. and things like that, because now we're catering to more of the digital nomads out there. So again, this is growing into something that's more than what we ever expected. Okay. Now, another thing that's coming up for, I'll just say for me, a project that I'm working on that's near and dear to my heart is I'm working on a pretty large glamping project in Tennessee. I work, again, behind the scenes for a lot of investors. So it's a duo investor group that found me through a referral, and they had me basically start the permit process for their glamping site, which they're calling agricultural tourism. So that glamping site is going to start off with 3 glamping tents, and if you know anything about that world, you know that that's pretty large just to have 3 glamping tents in one area. And so that's going to grow to 5, and we've already gotten to with them allowing me to lead this particular project. We've already gotten to where we've gotten approved. So we've gotten a pre-approval from the county and the planning division of that county to move forward with our project. And the next thing that the investors asked me to do, which I was glad to do, to stay onto the project, was to oversee the site plan. So I had, had the site plan drawn up, how everything was going to be connected. These tents will be connected to the grid, so they won't be off grid, which is really popular right now, but these will be extremely luxury. You will be able to have running hot water, you'll be able to have electricity, places to charge your phone, things like that. And it'll be not too far from it'll be in the Smoky Mountains area, not too far from Knoxville. So you can still jump in and out of town, have dinners and things like that, and come back and experience that. So that's something that I'm really excited about that's coming up. Another thing that I'm excited about that's coming up is I'm going to pick up what I call sourcing season. So what sourcing season is that, again, I do work with people who say, I want to have a passive stream of income. And that's what's attractive about having your own vacation rentals, because they are passive, meaning that once you set them up and you get your systems in place and you get everything automated, you pretty much can go on about your day. You could kind of do whatever. If you have a W-2 job, you can go on and do that. And if you have a hobby or you have kids at home, you can concentrate on that. This business that we're in, which is the short-term rental, Airbnb rental, is really a passive business. I could, take someone who doesn't know anything about it, that just says, I want another stream of income, introduce you to a property that fits your needs, your likability, and is profitable. And we can have you up and running with that source of income that kind of runs behind in the background on its own against whatever else you're doing out there. And so I do, like I said, I have I have different streams of income, but 3 of those streams comes from my 3 different short-term rentals. And another thing that's coming up that I'm excited about, because it'll be the first time that I have been able to stand up my own another charity Airbnb, is I will be introducing another Airbnb beginning of 2022, and I have cautiously stopped building because of the COVID economy, and I had to carry those units through that economy. So I didn't build and add on, but I am excited, and it's going to be something special. It's something that I have been looking forward to. So I hope you support me out there as much as I want to support you. Now, that's about it. I just wanted to jump on here because I had not really introduced myself properly and kind of put this out there for everybody to know, what I'm up to and to know what my passions are. And I know my little friend Terrence, he's always supporting me, and I appreciate that. But I would like to say my passion is really with helping women. So a lot of times women, we get pushed out of the conversation a lot of times by the testosterone that's just in the room with men and their numbers and knowing how to work money. But a lot of women out here are doing it on their own. They have children. They are working 9-to-5 jobs, sometimes even longer. and they need to get out of the position that they're in. And so a good way to get out or improve your position, because you could have a job that you love, but not all jobs that you love pay the bills, right? So a good way to improve your situation is to get passive streams of income. It doesn't have to be an Airbnb. It also could be anything. It could be like right now, I am standing up and my Amazon store is just getting ready to get off ground. I have some things headed to the warehouse now, and I'll be debuting that, soon. So again, that is another stream of income that you want to have. Again, if anything happens, don't put all your eggs in a single basket. So that's my message for today. I hope that when I'm able to do these lives, in the future, that they'll be more interactive and I'll know how to use it, use the technology. But for now, you can find me at ctgcorporate.org. That's my website, ctgcorporate.org. I also live on a platform called Fiverr, which I do all of my consults on. So if you ask me, how do you get your clientele? Because a lot of people ask me about my website, but I don't really live on my website. I have a website, but I don't live on it. I live on my Instagram page, which you can find me on most of the time, and Fiverr. You can see, and the reason why I like to live on Fiverr is because I don't have to talk to you about too much I do. You could go and see my reviews. You could go and see what people say that TJ actually helped them with, and that's what I would prefer. So again, thank you for joining me for this short period of time, and thank you, T, for always supporting me. And I will be on here at least, I'll try to do at least bi-weekly alive. And I'm going to end the room.